Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello friend, how are you today? Hopefully you will always be healthy amid this pandemic. Stay safe, stay at home and stay educated. Okay, today group 3 will present the result of our group 1. We will explain about line graph, pie chart, table chart, and bar chart. Okay, come on guys. The first one I will explain about line graph. What is line graph? Does anyone know? Yes, line graph is a type of chart which display information as a series of data point called markers, connected by straight line segments. Inside the line graph consists of several elements, namely 1. Introduce the graph. 2. Give an overview. 3. Give the detail. Okay, come on to the example. Here a line graph is provided which contains date on visitors to Trenggalek Library January to May 2019 in percentage unit. In January 2019, visitors to the public library in Trenggalek only reached 15%. In February 2019, there was a decrease in visitors to the public library in Trenggalek. From the beginning of January, 15% to 10%. This data was obtained from the attendance list of visitors to the Trenggalek Public Library. In March 2019, the public library in Trenggalek experienced an increase in the number of visitors by 30% compared to the number of visitors in January and February. The average visitors were school children and tourists. In April 2019, the number of visitors decreased by 5% again from March to 25% from the previous month. In May, there was another decrease in the number of visitors to 15%.
Okay guys, I'm Dila Novalia. Now continue with me, we will discuss pie chart. The three basic things you need to structure pie chart are introduction, general overview, and specific features. I read the example. The chart compares four retail sectors which are electronic and appliance, food and beverage, home furnishing, and video games in Canada in terms of the proportion of their internet sales in 2 years, 2005 and 2010. Overall, the proportion of online sales for each of the four sectors changed significantly from 2005 to 2010, while the figures for food and beverages and also video games increased. The figures for the other two sectors fell. In 2005, the proportion of online sales of food and beverages was 22%, but this rose to 32% in 2010. The percentage for internet sales of video games also went up by 5% from the 2005 figures of 18%. In contrast, the percentages of the online sales of the other sector decreased. The most dramatic fall was in the home furnishing retail sector. While this figure was 25% of the total online sales of this sector in 2005, it fell to just 15% in 2010. There was also a decrease in the electronics and appliances sector, which saw a fall from 35% in 2005 to 30% in 2010. Thank you.
Okay guys, come on with me, Monica Ajeng. I want to present on the crown of COVID in Indonesia from March to October in this table. In this table describes the development of COVID-19 from March to October at this time in Indonesia. Insect the table consists of several elements: introduction, overview, first main feature, second main feature. You can see in the table that the highest positive corona in Indonesia is in August. But in August, patients who recovered were in the third level. Most patients who have recovered from COVID-19 are currently in October. But in October, this also increased the number of patients who died from COVID-19, namely 11,677 people. Starting from March to August, positive corona patient increased, starting from 1,528 people to 125,396 people, and from September to October, positive corona patients decreased starting from 75% to 50% of the highest total COVID growth in Indonesia. The most important thing for the state of Indonesia is the increase in patients who recovered from COVID-19 in March to October. The patients recovered and continued to increase. There was no decrease even though the number of patients who recovered was only 30% to 50% of patients who tested positive for corona. But in October, more patients recovered than patients infected with the coronavirus, which is around 247,667 people, meaning that Indonesia has started to improve. Not only that, patients who died in Indonesia from March to October always increased, but only 5% to 10% of patients who test positive corona. Namely, in March, 136 people. Until August, the increase in mortality reached 5,723 people. But in September, the number of patients who died increased to 3,323 people. In October, the number of patients who died has increased dramatically to 11,627 people.
Here I will explain a bar chart about the COVID case in Trenggalek. In this diagram, the COVID case in Trenggalek in April were 2 positive patients and 1 patient recover. In May, the patient positive increased to 9 patient positive and 4 patient recover. In June, the patient COVID positive increased to 27 patient and 19 patients recover. In July, the number of patients positive increased to 103 and 16 7 patients recover. The conclusion of this bar chart is that in April, May, June did not increase much, but in July, the positive case of COVID increased a lot.
Thanks for your attention. If we have any mistakes, I'm sorry. And don't forget to stay at home, stay safe, and stay educated. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.